Hi. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate this. Who was here for the consent show before? Seaward Consent, yeah? Good, right, thank you very much. And where were the rest of you? No, I'm just kidding, it's fine. My name is Patrick. I'm gonna talk to you guys today about stress, mental health, some suicide awareness and prevention. Before I do any of that though, I wanna give someone some cash. I have cash in my pocket, I just wanna give someone some cash. It'd be literally, will you join me on stage? Would you do that? Yes, good. Give this person a round of applause, they're brave. They're very brave. Thank you so much. Come on down, come on down. Let me get you your very own microphone. Very nice. Okay, here we go. Hello, what is your first name?
Kira.
Kira, awesome. Kira, we can come to the front of the stage. Kira, how's it going? Where are you from, Kira?
I'm from Claremont, New Hampshire.
From Claremont. Okay, I've never been to Claremont. How would you describe that in like 1 or 2 words? Or 3?
There's nothing there.
Nothing there. There's nothing there. Okay, great. I love that.
A lot of drug dealers.
Okay, cool, great. Well, now we know where to go, guys, after the show. Great, all right. No, we're not gonna do that. So, Kira, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna give you some cash. I kind of lied a little bit. I'm gonna make you work for it just a little bit, okay? So what I'm gonna do is ask you a series of questions. They're gonna pop up on that screen over there, okay? Now, you need to answer these questions right. Every question you get right, I'll give you some cash. Every question you get wrong, I'll take away some cash, okay? Yeah, yeah. You may be in debt to me. Great. Well, that's okay. Don't worry about it, Kira. So, Kira, have you ever had to stand in front of an audience full of people that don't really know you, all these eyeballs at you?
I just did it.
Oh, you just did a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're used to this.
Yeah.
So you know fully well that these people are all judging you. They're judging the way you stand.
For not wearing shoes.
They're judging you. Whoa, I didn't even notice that. What the hell are you doing? What are you doing? What? Okay, that's fine. We'll leave them there for now. Okay. Well, maybe that's one thing. But they're going to judge your answers to these questions. And at some point, you're not going to know the answer to the question, and they're going to be screaming in their head, how do you possibly not know the answer? So I want to make this easy on you, okay? I want you to succeed. So I made these very simply 5th grade level questions, okay? So no problem at all. You're in college now. If you fail this, your 5th grade teacher is going to come in the door and bring you back, okay? So to start, though, here's what I need. Let's see. Hi, can you do me a favor? What's your first name? Julian, I want you to do me a favor. When Kieran gets one right, I want you to go, point, like you're at a tennis match. Can you do that for me? 1, 2, 3, let me hear you.
Point.
Perfect, awesome. Okay, now, if she gets one wrong, or when she gets one wrong, the rest of you have a job. I want you guys to go, wrong! Okay? I want her to feel it and feel the terror. So let me hear you in the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes, I love that energy. Great. Okay, so we're going to do our best to go through these. These people are judging you. Do your best, okay? First question, and it pops up right here. What is an antonym for beautiful? Is it pretty, ugly, or gorgeous? What do you think? Do not help her. What do you think?
Ugly.
Ugly. That is point. Good. Very nice. Do not help her. Here we go. Which is closest to the sun? Uranus, Jupiter, or Saturn? Come on, these people are judging you. What do you think?
Jupiter.
Jupiter. That is good. Point. Very nice. Good. How many ounces are in 1 cup? 8, 10, or 6?
8.
8. Point. Very nice. How about this? If a car is traveling 40 miles an hour, how long will it take it to go 190 miles? 4.75, 3.5, or 4.25? Clock's ticking. Here we go. What do we got?
4.2.
What do you think? 4.25. That's wrong. Oh no. Which of these is a mammal? Seahorse, sea urchin, sea lion? Come on, clock's ticking. What do you got? What is it? Take a guess.
Sea lion?
Sea lion? That's point. Good, very nice. In the English grammar, the words the, and a are examples of what? Prepositions, articles, or conjunctions? 5th grade level stuff. No problem at all. What do you got?
Preposition.
Prepositions, that is in meme culture, what does the word skibbity mean? Cool, dumb, or bad?
Cool.
You're wrong, it's all of them. Great, next one. Can you name 5 Taylor Swift songs? I'll accept no as an answer.
I can, but I can't think.
So that's a no. Great, here we go. Now solve for z. Z times 5 equals 70. Is it 16, 17, or 14?
None.
It's none. That is wrong. Okay, here we go. Last one. You look around this room. Name 5 things you see around you right now.
Audrey.
1,
Kelsey,
2,
McKenna.
3,
Her.
4.
Kathy the Squishmallow.
Good. All right, big round of applause. Very nice job. You did okay. You did okay, all right? You didn't get them all right, but that's okay. I was kind of messing with you. I'm just going to give you cash anyway, just for coming up here. Now, real quick, what's it like when people scream at you and you don't necessarily know the answer? What does that feel like?
Makes me want to cry.
It makes you want to cry? Do you get any physical sensations when they yell at you?
Yeah.
Like what?
Get a little hot, a little tingly, get some anxiety.
Sure, absolutely. Does anybody in this room, would you hate the idea of being in her position right now? For those of you that feel that way, do you get any feelings just thinking about being up here? Right? That is intense. Okay, good. Thank you so much. You can have a seat. One more round of applause. She did it. Da 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 da. So those feelings that they felt and the feelings that maybe you felt from your seats, those are a stress response. That is a physiological change to a real or perceived threat. Basically, your body is changing in that moment. Orders are being shouted out without your knowledge. Heart, pump harder. We need more blood pressure. Lungs, pick up the pace for some more oxygen. Adrenal glands, give me some adrenaline and cortisol for energy. Bladder, this is your big day. We might need you to piss yourself. This is why stress is so taxing on the human body, is because of these physical changes that you go through whenever you're stressed. Think about the last time you were seriously stressed out, and think about the words you might use to describe that. Maybe you felt like you were on pins and needles, or your stomach was in knots, or your knees felt weak and wobbly. This is all because your body is trying to adapt to survive a situation. Now, answering questions up here on this stage, it's not life or death. We know that, right? But we all have this part of our brain called the amygdala that doesn't care. The amygdala doesn't care what the logical circumstances are. The amygdala is hardwired from thousands of years ago, and it feels better that you just go ahead and you jump back when that bush next to you rustles than for you to stand there and process, is that a snake or a stick? Oh, here it comes, it bit me. Ah, it's a snake stick, right? So it goes ahead, the amygdala does, and it hijacks your system whenever a stressor is present. And when we talk about stressors, it doesn't have to be life-threatening. It can be something as simple as money issues. It can be a bad breakup. It could be being left out in the cold. It could be a exercise, a familiar smell. It might be a bad experience on Spirit Airlines, which if you know, you know. It could be a haunted house. It could be grief, or it could just be your messy-ass roommate that is a stressor. It's basically anything that instigates this change in your body. And in us humans, this is how it works. You get a spike in activity, and then when that thing goes away, you come back down. But what happens if you don't come back down? What if you were in a continuous state of stress because, hey, you can't avoid a certain person, or you can't avoid a certain situation, or you've just never learned how to actually deal with the stress that you encounter? That's when stress causes physical and mental health issues. And just like your body, you want your thoughts, your beliefs, and your feelings to be healthy also. That's what mental health means on the most basic level. So, and as some of you demonstrated, just the simple thought of another person's stress can kick off a stress response in you. So if high levels and or continuous stress can be detrimental to your physical and mental health, how you manage the stress that you encounter is going to determine your quality of life for the next 4 years and for the rest of your life. Now, I don't have to tell you this, college is stressful. You're gonna find that out real soon. But we do know 75% of mental health issues begin by age 24. 60% of some students feel stressed every day. 70% report struggling with mental health ever since college started. So, how you deal with this stress is very important, and how these things come together. And what happens, you know what if you just say, well, you know what, Patrick, everybody's stressed out. That's just life, that's just what happens. Well, I'll tell you what happens. If you ignore your stress, that stress, guys, the body keeps score. That stress will absolutely manifest itself in some way, shape, or form. And that could be a physical ailment, like a weakened immune system. That could be fighting with your loved ones or strangers, or using drugs or alcohol to cope. There's a lot of things that we do that we think are gonna calm us down, but actually can make things worse, like playing video games. Judd Brewer, who's a leading researcher in anxiety, says that video games are stress-inducing. They create a negative reward system for your brain. And besides, I think we can all agree, if you've played Mario Kart before, you know getting hit with a blue shell is incredibly stressful, right? It's also total bullshit. Now, even though stress can cause mental health issues in us, it's not the enemy. We need it. Stress is a great thing. It helps us out. The stress of that test coming up at the end of this week, that's gonna motivate you to study. The stress of a game helps hone an athlete's focus. Going to a haunted house or on a roller coaster, that's fun stress. Even exercise is a form of stress that causes a positive change in your bodies. And when stress is moderate and it feels like it's in a context that's safe, it's way easier to manage. But that's easier said than done. We are all unique. We all have different unique challenges and abilities. And that's why the things I'm going to talk about today, it's not a blanket list of everything you can possibly do. I just want to give you an idea of what may be possible to help you mitigate the amount or the effect that stress is going to have on you for the next 4 years of your life, and just for the rest of your life. Let's see. Hi, can you take this for me? Just take that right there. Just if you don't mind reading that to yourself. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and continue on here. If anybody wants to say anything, they're welcome to. I think is there a question in the front? Yeah, did you have a question? Yeah, what's your question?
question is, how does stress affect our mental health?
What a great question. Give this guy a round of applause. That's a great question. Thank you so much. I'll take that cue card back from you now. Thank you so much. You did great. Awesome. So how does it affect our mental health? Okay, great. So that's an awesome thing. Here's what I need. Hi, what's your name? Yeah. Ava. Ava, can I give you these? Okay, I'm gonna give you these 2 pens, okay, these 2 markers. Ava, do me a favor, and you can sit at your seat if you like. Ava, take those 2 markers, and I want you to rub them together like you're trying to start a fire, okay? Just go for it. Come on. Just go for it, Ava. Come on. What do you got? Okay. Okay. Ava, take a look at the markers. Did they change at all? Are they any different? No, right? Okay. Now, Ava, what if I asked you to do that every day, every week, every month for years? What would happen to those markers? They'd wear down, right? They'd fall apart, right? So we can all agree that 1 or 2 thoughts or actions is not going to change anything, but repetitively over time, it absolutely can. Ava, thank you so much. There's research out there that says we have 6,000 thoughts a day. That's what they estimate, about 6,000 thoughts a day. And most of those thoughts are repetitive. And a high percentage of those repetitive thoughts are negative thoughts. So if you're thinking negative thoughts again and again and again, you can eventually wear new pathways. You're creating new neural pathways for your brain to easily go to the negative as opposed to the positive. Guys, your thoughts, they're very, very powerful. Look at this. Is anybody singing it in their head? Is anyone starting to do the dance, right? Absolutely. I don't have to say anything. I just simply put up some symbols and your brain put it together. And now, whether you like it or hate it or however you feel about it, that song is stuck in your head. Your thoughts are incredibly powerful. And how you think affects how you feel. And how you feel affects how you think. And it is this vicious cycle that feeds on itself and goes round and round and round again. Over time, if you're thinking negatively and you're feeling negatively, you can have thought distortions that can arise. Thought patterns, ways of thinking. An example might be this. Who said this very famous quote that's up there, right there? Who do you think said that? Katy Perry. You threw your voice so well. It's a ventriloquist, folks. Yes, Katy Perry, right? Katy Perry didn't necessarily mean that, but this right here, this is an example of black and white thinking. That's a thought distortion. So maybe you know someone that says things like, well, this always happens to me. This never happens for me. There's no in-between in their world. They only see both ends of the spectrum. There's no middle ground, even though we all know there's moderation, there's middle ground in there. But that thought distortion causes them to think that way. Sometimes a very seemingly simple idea with a thought distortion can just run wild. Like this one, I want to go to Mexico for spring break. Great, no problem. Well, if you go, you're gonna have to fly on a plane. And planes are expensive, which means you are probably gonna be stuck in that tiny little middle seat. But wait a second, what if I have to get up in the middle of the flight? Like, I don't want to bother anybody, but what if I feel sick? I mean, if I'm sick on the plane, what if I have to puke? If I have to puke on the plane, then no one's going to want to sit by me. They're going to quarantine me in the back of the plane. And then the flight attendants, they're going to tell the pilots we're going to turn the plane around. They're going to bring me back to the airport where security's going to be waiting for me. They're going to take me away in a hazmat suit. I'm going to wind up trending on X. I'm going to be banned, I'm kicked out of my job. I'll be banned from flying Spirit Airlines for the rest of my life. Right? And that last part's not really that bad. I think, if you know, you know. In that hypothetical thought tornado that person had, just trying to book their ticket for spring break, that person might avoid going on spring break. They might avoid getting onto a plane. And it seems extreme, but that's not that far from someone's reality. When we are anxious, and it's okay to be anxious, totally fine. When we encounter danger, we encounter a thing that stresses us up, right? We get this feeling. But when that feeling doesn't go away, that's when we can have something like anxiety. Who here has ever suffered from anxiety? Yeah, woo, right? Most of us, right? Look at the words we use to describe anxiety. Pins and needles, stressed out, panicky, freaky, wound up, nervous, overwhelmed, tense. These right here, these are physical sensations. Physical sensations that can be the result of stress hormones being released in your body. Stress hormones like cortisol. Cortisol is great. It gives us energy when we need it. It's perfect for what it needs to do. But cortisol also increases your heart rate, it increases your blood pressure, and it messes with your blood sugar levels. So if you are someone that is experiencing the effects of a cortisol dump in your body, you might feel breathless. You might feel fatigued. You might feel like you need to change what you're doing because you want to avoid that. Now, it's okay to be anxious. Like I said, that's totally fine. But if being anxious gets in the way of your life and it prevents you from doing the things that you love doing or need to do, that's when it becomes an anxiety disorder. 19% of the adults, according to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, 19%, that's 1 out of every 5, has a anxiety disorder between the ages of 18 and 54. And I'm talking about generalized anxiety. There's eating disorders, there's OCD, other forms of anxiety, other flavors, let's say. But this is what I'm talking about here. And so if you feel a certain way, again, you avoid certain things. So now, if I'm feeling anxious, now I might create different thought distortions. I might say, hey, oh, there's a party this weekend, right? I'm not gonna go. Well, why not? Well, I just know what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen. I know when I go there, I know who's gonna be there, and I know what they're gonna think, and I just know what's gonna happen. Well, you don't know what's happening. But because you want to avoid that situation, you don't want these feelings anymore, you create a thought distortion where you fortune tell, where you go, I can tell the future and I know what. We don't know what the future is. You wouldn't be here right now if you knew what the future was. So these thought distortions, this is one way that stress can create mental health and physical health issues as well. So if we are going to mitigate the amount that stress has on our lives, we have to figure out a way to do something. We have to build a resilience plan. Resilience is basically your ability to bounce back from crap, right? Look, shit happens. It's gonna happen, right? At some point, you're gonna be late for class. Maybe, I don't know. You might get a parking ticket. Someone you love might break up with you. Someone you love might die. That's totally possible. These things are going to happen. So how do you not curl up into a ball at literally everything? How do you build resilience to the smaller things so that when something catastrophic happens, it doesn't completely overwhelm your life? Well, you build a plan. That's what you do. And I'm not going to go over all of it, but I just want to touch on it. The plan is acknowledging the stress, it's choosing a strategy, creating a smart goal for yourself, and then reviewing and adjusting. And just like those markers that we had over here, 1 or 2 times or one attempt at a plan is not going to solve it. You have to do these things again and again. It's a practice. So how do you know you're stressed? I'm asking anyone in here, how would you know that you're stressed? They said they get warm and sweaty. How else? Yeah. Hyperventilating, right? There's that breathlessness, right? Trying to catch your breath. Yeah. Sure.
You have a feeling in your chest, like a tightness.
Yeah, a tightness in your chest. Absolutely, yeah. Say that again.
Nausea.
Nausea. You feel sick to your stomach with a hat. Yeah.
For some reason, mine is my lips won't move right.
Okay. So there's like a lack of communication between your brain and your muscles a little bit. Sure.
When you can't think straight.
Can't think straight. Absolutely. One more.
My vocal cords will just seize up, so I won't be able to talk.
So you literally can't talk. These are all, thank you for these examples, because it could be any of these things. It could be irritable, could be moodiness, could be anxious, nervous, feeling sad, depressed, maybe like you're losing control, you're overwhelmed. Any of these things could be. So you have to acknowledge, first and foremost, to recognize, am I tired, am I hungry, or am I actually stressed out? Okay, cool. So now that you know that, now you can figure out what's a strategy I can do. These are a couple strategies. We're going to focus on some of them, but we'll just touch on a couple of them. The first and foremost is a lifestyle change. Guys, what are you doing with your life? Are you getting enough sleep? Or are you going to bed at 3 a.m., getting up at 7, and fueling the rest of your day with Celsius, right? Are you eating well? Are you exercising? What is the lifestyle change you can do? Another is problem solving. Can you take a gigantic problem, or what seems like a problem that's huge, and break it into smaller chunks, something that's more manageable to slowly tackle that problem? Literally build the wall brick by brick. We have support networks. You have counseling centers, you have people you can reach out to. Do you have friends? Can you call your parents? Who can you talk to when you are just feeling overwhelmed by life? We have cognitive restructuring, which we'll talk about, and we have just general stress management with the physiological aspect of things. So let's touch on these. Here's what I need. I need 2 the bravest people in this room. Who's it gonna be? I know you just came up though. There's one. Oh, you wanna just come together? That's awesome, the 2 of them? Good, come on down, come on down. You can come down, clap for them, because why not? What the heck? And listen, while they come up on the stage, I forgot to mention something. You were my tennis point person earlier. This show today is sponsored by some random Goodwill that I stopped at. So you're gonna take home with you this pair of SpongeBob SquarePants socks. So congratulations, very nice, very nice. Good, come on over, come on up. Hello, I'm gonna give you guys this. I'm gonna let you share this microphone between the 2 of you. What is your first name?
Ollie.
Ollie, and?
I'm Bree.
And Bree, I'm going to give you that to hold. So yeah, why don't you guys come to the front here? You're going to stand shoulder to shoulder. So Ali and Bree, you two right now have become the smartest person in the entire world together, okay? And what you are going to do in a second, it's possible, you did. And what's possible is this, you are going to answer any question. The audience is going to give me some questions. They can be literally any question in the whole world. Why is the sky blue? Who would win the Super Bowl? What's the next Marvel movie? Literally anything. And you're going to answer these questions one word at a time. Just like that, okay? Very simple. So you have to go back and forth with the mic. But let's do this. I'm going to call you Dr. Know-It-All. So I just want you to introduce yourself and say, hello, my name is Dr. Know-It-All. Just like that. If you don't mind, Dr. Know-It-All, please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Dr. Know-It-All.
They did it. Simple instructions followed. Congratulations. Good. Okay. I'm going to start you off with your very first question. While you come up with a question for me, please. I'm looking right here. Okay, you're going to have one for me. So very first question is, why do dogs bark? Now, it helps if you rephrase the question and the answer. So dogs bark because. Why do dogs bark, Dr. Know-It-All?
Dogs bark because they don't know how to talk.
That's it. They don't know how to talk. If only they knew how to talk, they would stop barking. If we could just teach them how to talk. It has nothing to do with vocal cords. Great. Yes, right here. Yes.
What's her name?
Okay, they're good. I don't want to know. Okay, looking over here, Dr. Know-It-All, you're looking over here. What is that student's name? So that student's name. What is that student's name, Dr. Know-It-All?
Their name is McKenna.
Sure, that's right. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Dr. Know-It-All did it. Absolutely. Good. What's another question? Yes, over here.
What is the answer to the life, the universe, and everything?
What, Dr. Know-It-All, what is the answer to the life, the universe, and everything?
The answer to your question is there is no answer.
That's right. Stop searching. You know what? Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. After a lot of years on this earth, that's pretty straightforward. Stop trying to figure it out. It isn't. What else? Give me another question for Dr. Know-It-All. One more question. Yes, right here. What is rain? Dr. Know-It-All, let's start here this time. What is rain, Dr. Know-It-All?
Rain is the
Existence
of
cotton
candy.
You know the cotton candy at the fair? They collect the rain, and that's how they make the cotton candy. Good, very nice. They did a great job. Don't go anywhere yet. Give them a round of applause. They did awesome. Actually, you keep that for a second. Okay, so let me ask you this. Did you know, when I asked you this question, or they asked you a question, did you individually know, I know exactly what we together are going to say? Did you know the answer? Maybe you had an idea, right? But you didn't know what they were going to say, right?
No.
Okay. And did you know what she was going to say that would prompt your next word?
I'm know-it-all, yeah.
Yeah, of course you are. All right, smart ass. Yeah, no. Right? So you didn't, right? So the only thing you could do in this situation was just throw out the one single word. You can't force someone, you can't make them or read their mind, right? Awesome. Okay, great. I'm going to give you one of these. You take this with you. You're going to take home this beautiful, my very first magic kit, okay? And then some creepy little cute doll. There you go. Awesome. Yeah, there you go. Good. Give them a round of applause again. They did great. So if we talk about stress, what can we control? What can you actually control in this world? Well, Darren Brown, who's the author of A Little Happier, says the only thing you can control are your thoughts and your actions. That's it. Everything else in this world you have no control over. I could walk up to you and I could punch you in the face. And you can be like, what the fuck can I do, right? Those are my actions. I have control over those. Now, you could punch me in the face, and I can go, whoa, wait a second. Why? Why did this person punch me in the face? What did I do wrong? Or what's going on in their world that they thought this was the best course of action? Now, I'm not asking anyone in the room to pontificate in the middle of a fight, like, what is the meaning of aggression? Like, no. You need to understand, there is a difference between a reaction versus a response. Reacting is a knee-jerk reaction based possibly off of years of conditioning. Someone cuts you off in traffic, you get a flood of feelings, and suddenly you pull up next to them because you want them to know what they did was wrong. That's a reaction. A response is, someone cuts you off in traffic, you get a flood of feelings, which today you realize it's just a stress response. It has nothing to do with that individual person or this situation. It's just something that your body does like Gandalf, like it just magically happens. And if that happens to you when you get cut off, you can take a breath, recognize those feelings, and then if you're like me from the Midwest, you stay back at a very healthy distance and you go, hey, jackass, right? Which, by the way, thumbs up or a little golf clap, way more infuriating than the finger, I promise, by all means. Good job, yeah. Because those feelings that you're gonna feel, they are very powerful. And those feelings affect your thoughts, which affect your actions, which affect your feelings, which affect your thoughts. It's this vicious cycle that goes round and round and round. But it's very easy for me to say, hey, just change your thoughts, well, because sometimes our brains don't work like that. Here we go. Hi, right here. Pick a card that's up there. There's 6 of them. Pick one, okay? Will you pick one? Pick one card? Okay, got one. Awesome. And then will you pick one card? Can you see over there? Awesome. You guys all have one? Great. Okay, do me a favor. Point behind you, over here or here. Just doesn't matter. Point to one of these people. Okay, we're going over here. Okay, you got your card in your mind? I'm going to do my best to make your card disappear. Okay? Did I make your card disappear? Yeah. Did I make your card disappear? Now, how the hell did I do that? Because not all the information was presented to you. All the cards are different than they were the first time. But your brain selectively focused one, because I said look at one. Your brain didn't see the whole picture. And when you don't have the whole picture, sometimes you make decisions that aren't necessarily the best decisions. So sometimes you have to take a step back and change the thought process. And that's why we have cognitive restructuring. This right here is the ABCCs of thoughts. Anyone can use this. You don't have to have a mental health disorder. These are something that's used. This is cognitive behavioral therapy, or talk treatment basically is what this is. But you find some sort of thing in your life that bothers you. Okay, that person cut you off in traffic. That drives you nuts. Great. What is your belief or what is your belief or thought about that? Well, my thought is, they don't care about anybody else on the road. They probably did this to me on purpose. You know what? This jackass, well, look at you, fancy pants. So what's the consequence of that belief? The consequence is now you're riled up. Now you are angry for the rest of the day. Now you want something bad to happen to them, whatever the case may be. But can you challenge that thought? Can you take a second, and when this person cuts you off, can you go, ooh, okay, wait a second. Patrick said there's feelings. Yep, okay, there they are. Maybe let me challenge the thought I had, which is they're an awful person. That's not the case. Maybe this person didn't see me because they're a bad driver. Maybe they have to be somewhere that I don't know about because it's an emergency. I don't know this person, and since I can't change them, I certainly can't affect what's happening, and I can't know for sure. And by challenging that thought, you can then change the outcome and create a new feeling. We are very good at telling ourselves awful stories about the past or what may happen in the future. We're also really good at telling ourselves positive stories as well. But again, like the markers, you have to practice it. It's something you have to work at again and again so that you can create those neural pathways. So that is just a simple thing of cognitive. And just know this too, very important. The thoughts that you have, those negative thoughts, they're just thoughts. They're not facts. They're not facts. Again, you don't lock in on something when you don't have all the details, and don't make assumptions when you don't have all the details, because it may be completely different than what you believe, which could create a different feeling than how you're reacting. Okay, this next one is a physiological strategy. Breath work. I love it. Breath work's awesome. Breath work. Navy SEALs, paramedics, special operators, nurses, professional athletes, they use breath work in order to increase their ability to perform. So we're going to do a little something like that. I need another volunteer. You don't have to come up here, though. You just stay right at your seat. Yeah, right here? Okay, great. I'm going to come to you, okay? Excellent, excellent. What is your first name? Maddox. Okay, Maddox, I'm going to call him all the way over here. Maddox, here's what we're going to do, okay? And even though Maddox and I are talking, you're welcome to join us. You're welcome to do this as well. So Maddox, I want to do something. I kind of want to test what your level is, what your tolerance is right now to something, okay? So in a second, Maddox, you and I are going to do this together. I'm going to have you exhale everything out. 1, 2, 3, going to blow everything out. Not yet, not yet. At the end, you're going to pinch your nose, and I just want you to sit there, Maddox, and I want you to slowly count to yourself. 1, 2, 3. And what I want you to do is I want you to just recognize when your body has a little bit of a moment of, we should breathe, okay? You're not trying to force this. I'm not looking for you to hold your breath for a minute. I just want you to sit there calmly, pinch it, and then once you get that little bit of a feeling, I want you to let go. And for those of you at home, this is a great opportunity to practice something that maybe you've never heard of before. So I encourage you to participate, but I'm not your mom. Can't make you do anything you don't want to do. But this is an opportunity. So Maddox, you and I, okay, we're going to exhale everything out. Okay, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good. Pinch your nose. Good, and then I just want you to sit and slowly count to yourself. And then as soon as you feel just a little twinge of like, just let go and just breathe normal, okay? Keep counting. Good. And anybody else that's doing it, you're not trying to force it, you're just going for that feeling. Awesome. How far did you get, do you think?
21 or 22.
21 seconds, let's say 21 seconds. That's awesome, Maddox, great. So that feeling that you felt, that little bit of, I gotta breathe, that's your body's tolerance to carbon dioxide. That's kicking off a response in your system, your brain going, hey, we need to breathe now. So Maddox, if you had the ability to maybe condition yourself to that feeling, resist that feeling, it's possible that you could go a little longer, go a little further. Same thing with an athlete. If you are a runner or you play sports or anything, the first thing that usually goes is your breath. People get winded quickly, right? So increasing your ability to resist that feeling of I need to breathe could improve your performance. So Maddox, here's what we're gonna do. Again, play along if you like. Maddox, I just want you to watch the screen. You don't have to do anything other than just gently do what it says on there. That's it. Just pay attention to that. Kind of shut my voice out for a little bit. For those of you playing along at home, same thing. Just pay attention to what's going on up on the screen. Don't force it. You're not trying to go all in, all out. Just gently focus on your breath. And like life, I'm gonna keep talking at you because life is not gonna stop when you're stressed out. So you may have to tone me out. You may have to focus on just yourself. What we're doing right here, Maddox, you're doing great, is we are doing some coherent breathing. Coherent breathing just means that we are conscious of how long in and how long out. We're paying attention to our breath. That's the absolute basic that we're talking about here. We're trying to regulate ourselves. We're trying to keep that balance of carbon dioxide and oxygen roughly about the same is what we're trying to go for. Now, that same feeling that you had, or maybe Maddox had, that same feeling of breathlessness, that can, again, come from stress. I talked about cortisol before. Cortisol affects your breathing. It affects your blood sugar levels. You may feel breathless. You may feel that panic. And when you feel that panic, you tend to overbreathe. And when you overbreathe, you actually throw the rhythm off and you're not getting more oxygen. So you have to learn how to control that so that you can regulate your body and to bring yourself back down to a calming position. Maddox, we're gonna go for just 2 more here. In and out, just nice and slow, nice and easy. Again, if you're playing along at home, just follow what it says up on the screen there, okay? That's awesome, great. Maddox, let's do a little retest, okay? So Maddox, let's think about something else for just a second. Maddox, what's a YouTube or TikTok rabbit hole you wind up going down? Where you're like, oh man, it's been 4 hours, I shouldn't be looking at this. What do you like to watch?
Probably the sports edits.
Just sports edits, just highlights? Are they all like fails or are they all like good things?
Like the hardest hits.
The hardest hits. I love watching people get rocked. Head injuries. Oh my God, great. So Maddox, now we've taken away for just a second. Let's come back to this. So same thing, we're gonna exhale everything out and then just hold your nose and just slowly count for yourself again. So let's blow out, here we go. 1, 2, 3, pinch your nose. Good, and play along if you like. Just slowly count to yourself. And you're not trying to force it again. Even though if you knew what the number was before, just wait until you get that feeling again. And as soon as you get that feeling, just let go. Don't force it, just see how you feel. You're checking in with yourself is the whole idea here, okay? Just holding nice and easy, relax into it. If you feel tense and panicky, let go, by all means. And if you can, hold on a little bit longer, but you don't have to by any means, okay? I see some nose pinching, this is great. And we're not in a rush, so you take your time. Cool, what'd you get to this time?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. 30, who does math? Who does math? What's 10 more seconds to 20? A lot more, right? 50% more? I have no idea. I'm not a math whiz. That's why I'm here. Great. So you just increased your ability to resist that feeling. Thank you, Maddox, very much. So by increasing that ability to resist that feeling, you kind of just altered your bullshit meter to life in a way, right? So now when life throws you crap and it stresses you out, you know that you have the ability to, oh, I can actually handle this. I've been here before. I've felt it, and now I can make it a little bit better. Awesome. Awesome job. Okay, there's other types of breathing up there. Again, I leave that to you to figure out. A wonderful book on breath by James Nestor. It's literally called Breath. It's a great book, but some other topics and other things. If you're an athlete, I can't stress this enough. These techniques that we just did, before you step up to the plate, or in the middle of a test, or in the middle of an argument, taking a breath is important. That's why they tell you to do it. Okay, now, guys, you can't control the past. You can't. But you can ruin the present, literally the only moment we have right now, by worrying about the future. So when you worry about some stupid thing you did or some stupid thing you might do in the future, you kick off a stress response in your body right now when you don't need to be stressed out. You are safe right now. Everything's okay right now. So how do we keep those swirling thoughts out of our head? One way we do it is with some mindfulness. This is the last strategy we'll talk about. Very simple. The top one is what I asked someone to do at the very beginning. Where did you go? Which is this, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look around the room right now. Don't say it out loud. Just find 5 things that you actually see in front of you right now, right? It could be the lights, it could be the curtain, this microphone, my bald spot, my computer, literally whatever you see in front of you. What are 4 things that you feel, actively feel? Do you feel the shirt? Do you feel your hair on your neck? Do you feel your weight in the chair? What are 3 things that you hear? What are 2 things that you smell? Lotion, armpit, one's better than the other, right? What is 1 thing that you feel emotionally? Don't judge it, just how do you feel? Are you bored, tired, angry, happy, excited? Whatever it is. The whole purpose of this quick little exercise is to keep those thoughts about what did or what will happen and bring you back to this present moment right now. So that hopefully by bringing yourself to the present, you can realize that you're safe. You can realize you don't have to be in a stress position and give your body time to catch up and time to regulate itself. So these are some strategies. These are free. No one, guys, who doesn't love free shit, right? These are totally free. You can use these at any time. They are available to anyone, and there's many different versions of what we talked about today. So I have one more thing that I have to talk about real quick with you, if you don't mind. Hi, can I chat with you for a sec?
Yeah.
Awesome, what's your name?
Liam.
Liam. Liam, how are you doing today?
Good.
Good, thank you, Liam. Liam, do you, where are you from? What?
Concord.
Concord. Liam, is there a movie you could watch again and again and you never get sick of it?
Yeah.
What's that movie?
Titanic.
Titanic? Liam, I just watched that like 2 weeks ago. I told my wife, I was like, turn it off, they're all gonna die, it's sad. Okay, yeah, right, it's true, almost all. Liam, what's something you like to do outside of school?
Hang with friends.
Hang with friends, that's easy. You have any siblings at all?
Yeah, 2 brothers, but older, so they're like.
Oh, they're gone. Okay, cool. Are you going to ask me questions, or is this like the worst date I've been on? No, Liam. No. So, Liam, I want you to ask me how I'm doing.
How are you doing?
I'll be honest with you, okay? Okay, I know it's in the title, but I am a little stressed. My grandpa is really sick, so my parents have to take care of him, which means that my wife and I actually had to move in with my parents, which we fight between the 2 of us because of that. I travel a lot, so my dog's not getting the attention that she deserves, for sure. And financially, it can be difficult as well. I mean, I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this, but so I try and go out. I try and do the best I can. You know, obviously, we all try and do those things, but you know, it wears on me. It wears on our relationship. It makes things really hard at times. I mean, it'll be over soon, but you know, I don't want to burden you. You know, it's not a big deal. Okay, so Liam, if you asked someone how they were doing, would you expect to hear all that? No, right? Because that's not a human conversation. A human conversation we have every day is, how are you? I am fine. Good day. Like, that's literally all we do. So how do we have a tough conversation? Because literally a conversation can be all it is when it comes to the life-saving support when we talk about something like suicide. We're gonna talk about suicide briefly here, and if you don't feel comfortable with what we're talking about, it's totally okay to step outside, totally okay. But we are gonna talk about it for a couple reasons, one of which is I don't think we talk about it enough. We just don't. And the reasons we might not talk about it is because this is a super hard thing to talk about with somebody. Or we're afraid that if we talk about it, that somehow it's gonna give someone the idea to do it. And that's not true. The opposite is true, actually. The more we talk about it, the more we normalize this and other things like consent and alcohol, the more we talk about these things, the better the chances are we have of preventing these things. Suicide is the 11th leading cause of death for all age groups. It's the 2nd leading cause of death for ages 10 to 14 and 25 to 34. 10 to 14. A statistic that didn't really exist before social media. Just throwing that out there. Suicide rates among men are 4 times higher than among women, and mainly because dudes don't talk. They don't talk to their friends. They're not going to talk about their feelings. And we can say statistically that about 1 person dies every 11 minutes from suicide. These are more common than you might think. There were 13.2 million people, according to the CDC, who seriously thought about it. There were 3.8 million people who made a plan, and there was 1.6 million people who attempted a suicide. There are many different reasons, many different factors why someone might. There's no one thing. It could be any of these things. It could be someone, you know, they're having financial problems, relationship problems, could be PTSD, a persistent pain. I've met soldiers who have told me someone they know did it because they were deployed away from everybody in their family and the things that they saw and did. And then I also met soldiers who told me they knew someone who did it because they weren't deployed, because they'd focused and practiced their whole life on something and they didn't get to do that. So there's a wide variety of reasons. And any of these factors could create feelings in someone: sadness, depression, anger, somebody who feels like they're just not worth it. They have nothing to offer this world. Maybe they feel like they're a burden on people. And it is a tough subject to talk about, but it is preventable, I think. So Liam, let's talk about something real quick. So if we looked at the feelings, that's pretty clear. If I told you how I was feeling. Liam, sometimes you can look at the words that people say. Is there anything that I said, and anyone can help, any phrase or anything that I casually threw out that maybe sounded not like you would normally hear in our conversation?
About your grandpa being sick.
Yeah, my grandpa being sick. Okay, sure. Yeah, you're hemming up.
You said it'll be over soon.
It'll be over soon, right? What else did I say? I said one more other phrase in there. Yeah.
But you don't know how long you can keep doing it?
I don't know how much longer I can keep doing that. Now, I didn't come to you crying and I wasn't pleading with you. I just casually said these things because I don't want to bother you. I don't want to burden you. Now, those phrases that I used, or any variation of those phrases that I used, could be an invitation, could be an opportunity for you to say, wait a second, what do you mean by that? What exactly do you mean you can't do this any longer, or it will all be over soon? It could be any of these things. I had a friend a year ago on Facebook. They posted something incredibly cryptic, and then they just went dark. No one could get a hold of them. No one could find them. None of that. They're okay now, but that was a sign. That was a warning sign, that post that they did. Now, if you don't get a chance to talk to someone, what are their actions? Someone you recognize from class or from sports, who maybe they're giving away their possessions. Maybe they've completely withdrawn from everything they love. Someone loves volleyball, and now all of a sudden they don't care about it anymore. It doesn't mean anything to them. Maybe this is someone who's incredibly impulsive or reckless, or maybe this is someone who's withdrawing from all social interactions, or self-injury. When we talk about suicidal ideation, depression, things like this, these are thoughts that happen in someone's head that they can't explain why, and they can't make go away. So sometimes people will literally hurt themselves to just feel something different, to feel anything that's not that thing that they don't have control over. So that could be a sign. You can look at someone in their physical sense. Is there a lack of hygiene? Do they not care about anything? Are they sleeping too much? Are they, is there a change in their appetite? Are they incredibly irritable and they just can't control their anger? These could be signs. These could be invitations, is what I like to call them. An invitation for you to start a conversation with them. And if you want to help someone who may be in a down situation, there's a couple things you got to ask yourself before you engage in that. And these are just questions that, just for you, personal questions to ask yourself, because not everybody feels the same way culturally, religiously about suicide. So a question like, ask yourself, is it right or wrong that someone does it? And you don't have to answer, just think about it. Does someone have the right to do this? Like, we're allowed to do whatever we want. Are they allowed to do this, you think? Can anyone have suicidal thoughts? Can it be the all-star quarterback who has literally everything going for them, all the way down to what we think of as a depressed person? And then can someone who's serious about it, can they actually be helped? Is there something you can actually do? And there's no right or wrong answer to these, and there's no judgment on your opinion or your beliefs about this. But just know that your thoughts could affect your effectiveness at helping someone out in these situations, because you don't have to be a mental health professional to help someone. You don't have to be a speaker. You don't have to be a counselor. You literally just have to have a conversation with someone. A very, very simple conversation. And there's an acronym to keep in mind. It's very easy. It's called ACE, Ask, Care, Escort. Ask this person. Talk openly about this thing. Say, hey, I noticed you haven't been acting like yourself. Is everything okay? Or just be upfront with them. Go, hey, listen, I gotta ask you, man, are you thinking about hurting yourself? Or are you thinking about taking your own life? And if they say yes to this, great, ask follow-up questions. What is your plan? Because 3.8 million people, which are underreported numbers, made a plan. They picked a time, they picked a place, they picked a means, they knew exactly what, when, and how they were going to do it. So find out what their plan is. And sometimes just verbalizing these things for them can help them feel. They can realize, like, this sounds real when I say it out loud. The care part is just actively listening, not trying to judge them, not trying to solve their problems, not guilt trip them like everybody's gonna miss you. Like, no. We're talking about a person who doesn't feel seen or heard, and to dismiss their feelings and say, you'll be fine, is not making them feel seen or heard. So just acknowledge what they have to say. You encourage them to seek help. And that bottom one is remove any means necessary. When we talk about suicide, it is a moment of crisis that intersects with a moment of opportunity. So someone is having a really, 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 really shitty time. And if the thing with which they intend to take their life is available to them, that's when it happens. So how can we separate those two things from each other? We say, hey, listen, I know you have a gun at home. Can we hold on to it? Can we put it at the armory? Can I lock it up at my place? Or I know you have pills. Can I hold on to those? What can I do to help separate you from these means so that they hopefully have a chance to come back down and be away from that opportunity? And the final part of ACE is to escort them. That just means stay with them. You don't have to take them to the counselor. You can offer to call hotlines with them or offer to go with them, but you don't make them do anything they don't want to do. You just say there's resources on campus if they want to use those. And knowing what those resources are is important. And certainly you don't want to leave this person alone. If you can be with them, absolutely. So when we talk about resources, you have the counseling center that you have. This is the number for the counseling center. And Dr. Orff is going to talk about that a little bit here. You have prevention resources, like let's say you don't want to go to the counseling center because it's a small town, everybody could see you going in there. That's fine. You can text the word home to 741-741. Or you can text the Trevor Project. You can text the word START to 678-678. These are national hotlines. They are anonymous. They will just listen to you. They will offer resources if you like, and they can offer resources in your area. If you have someone at home that doesn't live here, these are national. You can also use these resources. You can text or call the mental health crisis line, which we now have, which is 988. Or if you have a conversation with your friend and you go, this is serious, you can call 911. You absolutely can. You can call campus security, you can call 911. Your friend's not gonna be happy, they might be a little pissed at you, but you doing something is far more important than not doing anything because you were afraid you didn't want to say the wrong thing. So these are all things available to you, right? All these things. And again, as I can't stress this enough, the reason why this campus, they care about you is because they bring people like us to talk about mental health, to talk about consent, to talk about these things so that you guys can continue the conversation with each other and look out for each other. One final thing I want to leave you on is this. Just think for a second to yourself, what's one good thing that happened today? What's one positive thing? It could be you had lunch, you found $1 on the ground, you met a new friend, you smiled, anything, literally any positive thing. Think about that thing for just a second. Turn to the person closest to you and share that thing with them right now. Guys, my name is Patrick. This is Stressed AF. Thank you so much. Here's Dr. Orff as well. Yeah. Dr. Orff, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Dr. Orff.